Hello there. It's that time of week again, and me and Susan are back together this fine Sunday, discussing discussing a movie from 1960. Uh, what waited a hell of a lot of years to have some more sequels,
Hmm.
but it was the first in the franchise of the Ocean's movies, and this is Ocean 11 from 1960 with the original
Ta-da!
with the original Rat Pack, all about a big heist in Vegas, where a
Yes,
gang of expats do over the main what do you call them?
5 casinos.
Casinos, that's it. Yes. Um, all on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So this is a movie set Christmas leading up to New Year. And we're doing it in February. I didn't realize it was a set at Christmas when we were doing it, but here we go. So
Well, it is kind of it's kind of an escape for us who've been in the cold for too long.
yeah,
Try
yeah.
and think and put our minds in Vegas
hmm
where it's
I mean,
nice and warm. Yeah.
this, as I said, this is the a Rat Pack. It's got Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, um, Joey Bishop, just to name a few.
Angie
Um,
Dickinson.
and Dickinson, of course, yeah. So we'll go over to Susan for our opening thoughts on Ocean's 11.
All right. Well, this one is about a heist that goes well for a while until the very last minute. I tell you the truth, that ending was crazy.
And
I
cruel.
and cruel. And oh my gosh. So I do enjoy uh a little bit of these heist movies. I I own the modern Ocean's 11 and 12, 13 and 8 series, and now I have the original, like you'd say,
Mm.
the definite article if you're a Fourth Doctor fan. This is amazing, and you know you get some uh you get some amazing star power. And they did this basically so they could go and hang out in Las Vegas. They have they have their day shooting or night shooting, and then anytime that they're not shooting or anybody that they're not shooting is actually there performing, because it's like at the apex of many of these fellows' career. This is right. Dean Martin has sort of turned a corner and is becoming more leading man than he was earlier. And Frank Sinatra has gone through a lot of changes in his life, and his this is where he starts to really focus in on Las Vegas and begins a bunch of residencies that lasts the rest of his life, basically. And
Mhm.
it's also, Sammy Davis Jr. is, I mean, he is like at the casinos that they rob. Uh, Sammy Davis Jr. isn't even allowed to stay in the hotel. He has to stay in a hotel down the strip, basically a glorified Super 8 or a glorified, Motel 6. It's just ridiculous what they used to put our black performers through. And yeah, one time he was at the bar, the floating bar, having a drink in the pool, and those motherfuckers, they drained the pool and then they refilled it. I mean, that's how fucked up and crazy the mindset was. And he was there shooting this, beginning, to expand out and create some like high high density show tune stuff that he was working on. And he in this one he sings and he does a lot of vocalisms. I mean, he changes the sort of ambiance of a room just by starting to sing, and that's just brilliant. I think it's so cool. And this also is like taking the it's taking right now you see on commercials all the time for Wounded Warrior Project and the Disabled American Veterans Group. Well, this is what this is what they used to think, that all these people who fought in the wars would end up being as cool as the Rat Pack. I mean, they would all that this movie sort of delineated what it was like after you got out of the service. You'd gang up with your friends and you do these amazing things in civilian life. Anyway, so but yeah, it was a really cool thing that they were all sort of like known as like the 82nd Airborne, and that was pretty interesting because like that's a really classy crew of soldiers, a classic troop. And anyway, and then there was Caesar Romero was in there as Duke Santos, who was going out with uh like uh what's his name, was it Danny Ocean? No,
Jimmy Foster's mother.
Jimmy Foster's mother, that's the one.
Hmm.
And oh gosh, it was like he sort of almost ruined the whole thing, but he kind of almost did anyway. Gosh, it was crazy. And like yeah, there it was pretty interesting, like the songs they sang. And then the timing, they did this whole thing according to a time schedule, just like they do in the first Ocean's 11. But it wasn't all about winning the girl, it was about surviving and getting some money out of the deal.
Mm.
So that's why in Ocean's 11, the remake, it has to be all about the girl, because in the first one, the Danny Ocean and B were on the outs, were Splitsville. Anyway, yeah, so I really enjoyed it. It was good to see it again. And yeah, I like how they timed it at the end. I love how they use the rubbish truck, what do they call it? A well, in the US they just call them garbage trucks. So garbage
Mhm.
truck, and those garbage cans and their little money bags, and they just stole all this cash. So that's pretty sweet. Anyway, that's my opening thoughts. Lee, over to you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this, and doing a bit of research into this after watching it. this was the period when, as you say, Sinatra, Martin Davis Jr. were all appearing in Vegas, doing their little shows on a night or wherever. And this was the defining moment where Sinatra fell out with Joey Bishop
Oh yeah, that's right.
because Joey Bishop refused to do any of the shows. He didn't want to do any of the Vegas shows. He's in the movie, but he didn't want to do the shows. So he fell out with Sinatra big time. He never really became, best of friends ever again. Um, and Peter Lawford as well. He fell out with Sinatra. Um, maybe not at this point, but maybe in about a year or so after, because of the Kennedy situation. Because I think Lawford was married to a Kennedy,
Yeah.
and Sinatra wanted to pull strings, and Lawford didn't want any of that. He didn't want to be part of any of that political
Oh,
stuff. So him and Sinatra fell out over that.
oh wow.
Um, well, you shake hands with Sinatra, you're shaking hands with the mob, aren't you?
I think so.
But yeah, so this was sort of the last stand of the Rat Pack as a whole, as a as one. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it's a good it's a good heist movie. As you say, there's a couple of songs in here sung by Sammy Davis and Dean Martin. Funny
Hmm.
enough, Sinatra doesn't
I noticed that
sing.
too. Yeah.
So you get Sammy and Dean singing, but not Sinatra. And I don't know why that, because I'm sure him being the main man
Uh-huh.
would have been in there singing his heart out.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that happened. Yeah, you say you've mentioned Angie Dickinson playing Danny's estranged wife. You've got some good cameos here. George Raft
Oh yeah, yeah.
as one of the casino managers. Red Skelton,
Yep.
and also Shelley MacLaine
Yeah.
as the young drunk woman outside the casino. Um, it takes a while to get going. It's all about planning. It's all about planning the heist. But then it sort of kicks in on the New Year's Eve where the heist happens, and then it piques your interest a bit more. So it's climbing and climbing and climbing, and also
Hmm.
the heist starts. It's up there,
Yep.
um, and a good way of doing it as well.
Yeah,
Um,
no kidding.
just as the singing "Old Lang Syne," the chimes of midnight for New
Hmm.
Year's Eve. Cut the power, all the lights go out, so nobody can see you, and they take all the money from the 5 casinos.
Hmm.
Great stuff. Um, and it's good to, as you mentioned, also says Cesar Romero as Duke Santos, an ex-mob boss.
Hmm.
Um, it's always great for me to see Cesar Romero in a movie without the white
Well,
makeup, and the green hair.
all right, but you're a Batman fan, so of
Yeah,
course you would like any of the guys who were fantastic in Batman, right? Am I
yeah.
right?
But Batman in this situation, Batman was 6 years away.
Oh yeah?
So this is 6 years before Batman started.
Oh my.
This is 1960s. Batman was in '66.
Oh.
So it's always great to see these actors with, because I grew up watching him as the Joker.
Hmm.
It's always
Of
great
course
to
he
see him
did.
in earlier stuff without the makeup, and you
Hmm.
can see why he was offered the part of the Joker
Hmm.
in this one, where
Oh, oh,
he's,
he's such a good nemesis.
he's laughing over. He's discovered. He's realised what's going on, and he's laughing at, Jimmy's mother,
Hmm.
saying after, and the laugh is there.
Hmm.
You think, well, yeah, there's the Joker. Um, but yeah, it's just great to see him, and you don't realise how tall he was
Oh,
when
super
you
tall.
when you see him up against. I mean, Dean Martin was quite tall.
Right?
I mean, I know Sinatra was short, but I mean, Caesar Mera towered over Martin. But yeah, it's a compared to the offshoots of this movie, from the other franchise of the Ocean 11 series. For me, you can't beat the original because it's got something special about it. There's that, the feel about it, um, and to gather these iconic actors, the main actors, and they just look like they're having fun making it. Well, we're doing our proper job on a night, singing and dancing on stage. This is just a movie we're going to make during the day.
That's what I mean. It was like if they weren't shooting, they were on stage somewhere, and all of them got different casinos and different venues to inhabit during their downtime from the movie. And but I just couldn't believe the story that Sammy Davis Jr. told about, like, his movie, and his, doing the theater act, doing his dancing and his singing, and I mean, he was in beautiful, uh, beautiful costumes on stage at one of those
And, and the audience are applauding him while he's
yeah, and then turn around and he goes swimming, and they have to drain the pool. I mean, come on, it's just bullshit.
Mm,
Oh
yeah.
man, I just turned into an SJW so hard for Sammy Davis Jr. That I,
Yeah.
I just like couldn't even believe that. Like I knew that in on the East Coast here, we
Mm,
have we had to our the African American people who were theater performers, or travelers, they had to carry a book with them that would show them where they could stay and where they could perform. I mean, they had to have a book. It was called like the Green Book, I think, and it had all the only places that you were safe to travel or safe to stay, and I just can't, I can't believe that Vegas was that far behind the times.
I know, I know for a fact. Sinatra and Martin all that did fight for uh, Sammy Davis
Uh,
to
That,
be to appear in the shows. They
uh-huh,
wanted him. They said, if you're not having him there, we will not be doing this.
right?
So they did stand up for that, but I think they only had so much power about
Yeah,
the.
and then the management the the casino, hotel, resort areas all had their racist, bloody, grubby mitts in the mix, and that's why it happened. And I
Mhm.
just felt so bad for him. I mean, he was so he was so classy. I mean, just watching him makes me feel classy. That's what I mean. Like he's just amazing. Anyway, for crying
Did
out
you
loud.
I mean, did you notice right at the very end of the movie, they're all walking away from the funeral service,
Uh-huh.
walking down the biggest street, and there's a sign with Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis's name appearing. They're all walking back by it, and I think at the end, Sammy Davis sort of does a double take, and that's where the movie ends.
Oh my gosh. And that was after the incineration of, what was it, $25 million?
Oh, something like that.
Oh my gosh. And they put the money in the coffin with their friend,
Yeah.
and they thought that they were just like smoothly move excuse me, smoothly move it to San Francisco, be able to take the money out when he by the time it got there, and then, then be able to pocket the money and have the service for their friend, and everything would be cool. But the American Legion got involved. Ah!
Of course.
Ah! And then they're all like, "What's that noise?" It's the crematorium.
And all the faces is
All the
just
money.
when they realise. Yeah, but a great heist setup, all done in the dark with ultraviolet,
Paint.
what do you call it, spray paint or whatever it was, footsteps, and amazing story. As I say, it's for me, it's sort of, it was steady as it went, and then I say it really took up when the heist happened. Um, Anything else? What stands out for you?
Hmm. I liked yeah, I liked the I like the intercutting between the countdowns at the end too.
Mm,
I thought that was really fun. Because they were all in different keys. All of the music they were singing the old lang syne in different sounds, and that
mhm.
was great. And then there was also um the couple that got together that weren't together, that were just like snogging, and then, oh, you're not who I came with. Ah, just come over here. I thought that
Uh,
was great.
uh, for me, I like the every time one of the what is he, the job organizer rang up Danny Ocean or whoever, Sinatra put on a different voice,
Oh,
or
oh,
he used to do the wind up phone calls. Can, can you go to the morgue? Can you
uh,
identify somebody?
oh, yes, Spiros Asibas, played by Akim Temirov.
That's it. Yeah.
And Akim Temirov, he was in a bunch of things that I liked. He was in Touch of Evil, and he was in The Great Bank Robbery, and Marquis de Sade's Justine, and yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. He was a good actor. I enjoyed seeing him in this. And yeah, the other thing that was really fun was uh the fact that one of the actors' names was Richard Benedict, and like they ended up naming one of the casino owners after him in the Ocean's 11.
Oh,
So that's fun. And yeah, the the other one, and it was great when Red Skelton was trying to get the lady in the cage, trying to get her to cash his check.
those little cameos are brilliant.
They really were.
Um,
And what was that other one's name? Um, Norman Fell. That's who I'm. Norman Fell, who ended up in Three's Company, which was a retooled British show brought to the U.S. And the I mean, he played the landlord, but in this one, Peter Reamer, he was I mean, he was a good bad guy. I mean, it was great. He played sort of a bad guy, but all for yucks in the Three's Company. But in this one, he was really was really good. I mean, it was actually a lot more serious, a lot more, you know, and then yeah, that was great. And yeah, and yeah, I liked the way that Jimmy's mother, oh, what was her name? Um, Bergdorf? Is that what it was? Mm, Jimmy, Jimmy Foster. Um, oh, what was her name?
Um, wasn't it Mrs. Restus?
Oh, Mrs. Restus.
Was it?
Oh yeah, that must be it. And she was I loved how he had to ask her for money, and you know, she was like, well, what do you want it for? And he's like, I don't know, I just want to spend, I just want to have something to spend. And she's like, oh well, you should have told me if you wanted just spending money.
Spending money, yeah.
Must be nice.
Well, yeah, but as I say, she was marrying the Cesar Romero's character, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the music for this, the incidental music, Nelson Riddle did this one.
Yeah.
He's a well-known, well, was a well-known American composer of film and TV. Um, so it's good to see his name upon the credits for this.
Yeah. EO11, that
Hmm.
song. EO11.
And ain't that a kick in the head?
Uh-huh.
The only sort of real songs in the movie.
Yeah.
Because you do expect to when you get Sinatra, Martin, Davis, uh, you're expecting a bit of a musical,
You are.
but it's not really this one.
Yeah.
Um, so, which I think I prefer it this way, because if they just started to burst into song every so often, it would have took away from the feeling of the heist.
Yeah, like this isn't really about the the casinos and how to, you know, how to be cooler than the casino and get the money out.
Yeah,
It's then it would be, this is about these amazing you know, soldiers who were actually musicians, who
yeah,
actually sang songs, who actually stole money, but like it, that, like, without the sing songs bit first, it really gave them a lot more, you know,
yeah. The more
humanity,
realistic. Yeah,
realism. There you
yeah. So, anything else you'd like to say about Ocean's 11?
go. Yeah. Uh, I liked, I liked how they had that all on that uh the map on the sort of veil, and he
Mhm.
had started off with the blue veil, and he ran his hand over it and it turned yellow and turned into the map. I thought that was great. It was sleight of hand or magic, and then he had a map there. And I was just looking at the current map, and the only ones that are still there are the sands and um Let me see.
What
Yeah,
they've been
the strip is totally different now. I
oh.
mean, it's like 100% different.
What do you mean they've been knocked down or they've just been
Yeah,
renamed?
yeah, they've been knocked down.
Oh,
Most of the buildings are gone. Um, let's see, yeah, it was, what was it?
it was the Sahara Riviera Desert Inn, Sands, and the Flamingo.
Yeah, the Sahara, um, yeah, this, um, the Sahara's there and, um,
The Riviera isn't, I don't think.
nope, and,
And I don't think Desert Inn is. Um, the Sands isn't there.
that one, the Sahara's there
The
and
Flamingo's still there.
the Flamingo, that's it.
Hmm.
Yep, the Flamingo and, um, yeah, so anyway, it's changed a lot.
Oh,
And one of the ones that I can't wait for them to change the name of is that Trump Hotel. I just can't wait for him to have to sell that, and it's going to be something else. Maybe they can call it the new Sahara, or excuse me, the new Sands, or the new whatever. Yeah,
well, we never. You
the
can.
new Desert Inn. There we go.
You never. You never know.
You never know, but it was a good time watching this again. I had a great time, and uh, I've been through Vegas about 15, 20 times, and I just really I like driving through it, but it's so bright and so noisy and stuff. It just, oh my gosh, I it's a little overwhelming. It's like Times Square in New York. It's just a little overwhelming.
But Vegas never sleeps, does it? It never closes.
I doesn't.
Jeez, it's open
Uh-huh.
24 hours a day.
Yep.
Bloody hell.
Yep. It's just it's a zoo. Anyway, so
So
and I never got hooked on the video casino or the uh slot machines or any of the other ones, the card games or the roulette or anything like that. So I just don't, I mean, to me it was all a sort of a pass through, and look around, and then I've gone through it again. So that's my experience with Las Vegas.
cold. So what would your foul sense score be for the original Ocean's 11?
Well, I'll give this an eight old tore down casinos out of 10. I thought it was great. It was real classic. It was really enjoyable. And I really love the cast. I'll move
Mhm.
that up to 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, oh, you're
Yeah,
moving up.
9
Right,
torn down old casinos because now that I'm like, you know, there isn't enough to knock it down 2 whole points. It's just enough to knock it down 1. So yeah, that's it. That's all. And I'm so glad, that I got it in time to have
well,
the actual physical copy here because it's cool.
it is a cool movie. I give you that. Um, for me, as I've mentioned, it's sort of slow going to begin with. It's
Mhm.
the build up, getting the gang together, and then it picks up once the time of the heist arrives. Um, so for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to give this 8.5 loaded dice
Hmm.
out of 10.
Nice.
Um, it's still an enjoyable movie, but it is a slow going movie to begin with. But it's still a fun movie.
Yeah.
So, and compared to some of the remakes in the franchise sequels, it still holds up today. It's just great to see all the Rat Pack together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's our little review of Ocean's 11, 1960s version.
Hmm.
Um, thank you, Susan, for joining me and sitting down and watching this during the week. Um, you guys out there, if you've seen the movie, leave a message below and let us know what you thought of it.
All three
You'll
of
find,
you.
yeah, you'll uh, you'll find us on all the social media platforms, so you can leave a message on any of them. We're on most of them. Um, you'll find the videos there. I put the links up on all of them. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button. You'll get notified every time we put a video up. And if you want to be in our little gang and join in doing this, leave a message, as I say. You just got to be 18 plus, have a working camera and microphone on the device you use. And that's it. I think I've done everything there, haven't I?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's it. Now we're going to go off into the sunset and venture off to Vegas with the and spend our life savings, lose it within 20 minutes. So until next time, please be safe. Bye bye.